Hello and welcome once again to City Connections. I'm Steve Kine, Director of Marketing and Public Relations for the City of Enid, and your host for our show today, and thank you for joining us. For our program today, we welcome Sonia Key. Ms. Key is the Director of Human Resources for the City of Enid. Sonia, welcome. It's good to have you.
Hi, Steve.
I know you have a busy schedule, so thank you for spending a few moments. Just right off the bat, can you just kind of share a little bit about your background and your interest of why working at the City of Enid?
Well, I've worked in the Human Resources Department now for about 10 years, and I received my degree in Human Resources Management from Southern Nazarene University, and it was just been a natural interest of mine for quite some time to gravitate toward the human resources field.
So when this opportunity came around, you said, this is for me, because it was a dream that you had, basically, of working in city administration and / HR.
Right. It's interesting how careers develop sometimes. You know, you don't really know what you're going to do whenever you start, and then different pieces of your history fall together, and then you find yourself in the position that you really always wanted.
As a viewer watching our program today, they may be thinking, well, the City of Enid, now isn't that just the landfill people, or is that just trash collection or whatever? When you think of employment, or my question really is this, what kind of employment opportunities are with the City of Enid?
We have a diverse offering of employment there at the City of Enid. It takes a lot of people to operate the city in the fashion that we do, and I think the common misperception is that it's about the things that you see, such as the landfill or public safety, police and fire protection, street repairs. Those are things that we do for sure, but there are a lot of other things that we do as well, and a lot of departments that are somewhat hidden from view, and we staff those departments as well. So there's a variety of positions at the city.
For people watching, would you just share with us, when you're talking the HR department or your role to help employees, it's just not a dozen employees. How large is the department or City of Enid employees?
Well, with all the employees together now, we have over 500 employees, so it's a pretty good size group of people, and we have about slightly over 30 departments represented in those departments.
And when I arrived in December, I had no clue there was 500 some employees, because everything is so spread out. But that's just a small community in itself when you have 500 employees.
It is.
Different, you know, in the corporate community, different oil and gas entities are looking for a certain type of qualities. Bringing it closer to home for the City of Enid, what type of qualities are you looking for?
Well, I think with government, it's all about public service. So it is much different than working in private industry. We really look for people who are committed to serving the public, and that's a unique role to fill. So it's a job that, you know, that really is, you have to really care about what you're doing and care about the end result, because public service is different. We're working for the taxpayers, and they have every right to have a higher expectation of us as public employees than they might have from a private employer.
It's one thing to come to work for the City of Enid, but it's also an added feature or requirement to have this mindset of service, of customer service, of you're working for the taxpayer, and that's usually, you don't find that in the book, and you don't find that in the resume. You can have all these credentials and qualities, but then there's something unique about having that desire to serve.
That's exactly right. It is truly a public, you truly are a public servant when you come to work for the City of Enid. And I'm not sure that everyone grasps that initially, but we try to make sure that we bring that home to them from the day they're hired, through orientation and throughout their career, that this is a public service job. This is a calling that is not just for everyone. I think you'll find that the people who are really successful in public service are people who really do have a passion for what they do, a passion for serving people, and a real interest in how government works.
What you've just shared just kind of ties into the next question. You were talking about the customer service heart or philosophy or mindset and the qualities to work for the City of Enid. Why would this person be interested in the City of Enid versus City of El Reno or any other community, but why the City of Enid?
I think that the City of Enid is progressive when you compare it to other similar municipalities that you might work for, or other specific government jobs. We're progressive in that we are a small community. We can do things the Enid way. We can really look at ways to serve our community and be creative in how we do that. we offer a very competitive benefit package that's unique, I think, to government and unique to industry in general, because we have that ability to do that, to really attract those applicants that we're looking for.
In the role that I had before I came to the city of Enid back in December, I had the privilege of working with various communities across the state of Oklahoma. And when I arrived at Enid and the city of Enid, I was so impressed with the level of technology, the caliber of individuals. And again, working with communities all across the state, it's easy to play the comparison game with different communities. But there is a lot to be said about technology, the leadership, the goals, the want-to of the city of Enid. So it is very impressive. I understand that down the hall from my office is engineering folks. I call them the serious folks. And then there's human resources, say downstairs, marketing close to me, and the city manager close by, accounting all through us. So that's a few of the departments. But what degree fields? If someone's, say, starting out in college or maybe a junior, and they're just trying to figure out, what am I going to do? And if they're interested in city government work, what degrees as a HR director are you looking for, and maybe that you could suggest to someone right now?
Well, I think it's interesting because every city is a little bit different. But for example, here at the City of Enid, we have, like you said, engineers, specifically civil engineers. We have accountants. We also employ attorneys and everything from librarians, which is another professional degree field, to golf professionals. So we have a wide variety of professional positions. But generally, someone interested in working for government, whether it's the City of Enid or another branch of government, they generally will look at degree fields such as civil engineering and public administration.
So when you're looking for a PGA, not official, but administrator for the golf course, and you're looking for an attorney, you're looking for that engineer, how do you go about finding these people?
Well, those are specific degree fields that we really have to seek those people. But I think what's really interesting is a lot of our professionals actually come to us very young, either as perhaps a lifeguard on the summer program or as an intern in one of our internship programs, and then they realize that there's an interest there, and then they pursue their degrees, and once they have achieved their degrees, then they come back and work for us again in a professional capacity. We also offer a great tuition scholarship program for our full-time employees that have an interest in pursuing a degree field that might not be in the line of work they currently are in, but something that they see in government that they would like to proceed with.
Internships is just a great opportunity for exposure into a corporate setting or a city government setting. Tell us a little bit more about the intern program. If somebody's listening and say, I'm kind of interested in that, how can I get on this intern list?
Right. Well, this is about the 4th year that we've done an internship program, and this year we're expanding that a little bit and working with the broader community to offer internship opportunities. But really, it's just an opportunity for someone to take their break from college and work with us for a few hours in a few weeks to kind of gain the overall experience of what municipal government is. Because the general person just sees those direct services that are provided to them and don't realize all the many different departments we have or all the behind-the-scene jobs that we have as well.
By just visiting with you for the last few minutes, I sense that in your work there has got to be some satisfaction, happiness, whatever, I'm trying to find the word, but you know that there's a unique opportunity, a job opening at the City of Enid, and then you go out in the world and you find several candidates, but then you end up with the right candidate. There's got to be a little of satisfaction of knowing that you put the puzzle together. There was a need in the community or at city administration, and you found the right person for that. Tell us a little bit about that.
That is really what makes the job exciting, is because you know that to make the community grow and be all that it can be, you have to have the right people on board. And it's really an exciting process to go through that and, first of all, solicit those people who are interested in those degree fields, and then getting them to apply for the jobs and really screening through that and finding the person that really has the passion and the commitment to make things happen. Because when you get a group of people together that are really committed to the same cause, that's when you start seeing great things happen.
Sure. What bit of advice in our visit today that could you give to anyone who's building a career, building a resume, trying to get experience, if they're considering the City of Enid or not considering, but from your background as an HR director and working with people from various walks of life, what advice can you give someone who's, just trying to build that resume and get the credentials in place?
Well, I think the best advice is that, you can't sit back and wait for it to come to you. You have to seek that out. So you have to continually improve your skills, expose yourself to new opportunities, take on challenges, be mindful of the opportunities that are present for you to participate in, whether it's volunteer services or internships or seasonal positions. Look into those, and once you get them, excel in them. And then those are the things that really move you forward, because I think every supervisor, every hiring manager, every HR director is always looking for that next top talent.
Sure.
And those people just seem to come to the surface because of the commitment and the passion that they have. It's critically important, I think, for people to find something that they want to do, that they really are vested in, and it really makes them feel like they're fulfilling their purpose.
As you're sharing with us today, it just kind of triggered a couple things that I recall that had an individual tell me that said, "Steve, remember, school is never out." And I got, oh man, I want school to be out. What do you mean school is never out? And his point was simply, you're always going to be in a learning mode, no matter if you're 28, 58, 108 or whatever. School is never out. But I'm thinking of 3 o'clock recess button to get out, but he's thinking as long as you're participating and breathing in life, school is never out, you're learning. And then he also said that I always thought this was great advice. He goes, in regards to what you want to do, find someone who's there. Find the individual that is in that position or level of where they're at. Go to them and say, how did you get there? It kind of reduces the learning curve, but you talk to someone that is in a position or in a field that they're at, and you ask them, what do I need to do for education, for character building or whatever, but what do I have to do? And I found that to be helpful advice too, to find out that field, but to seek someone out and say, okay, what are the 10 steps for me to get to where you're at?
That's really great advice. I've often heard it put another way about surrounding yourself with people that are in the field that you're interested in, and that emulate the qualities that you want to have. And surround yourself with those people, because you will hone a lot from them.
Well, I've got one last question for you in our test today. I can attest that working at the City of Enid has been a great experience for me, even though I'm such a newcomer, been there such a short time. So how do people find out about opportunities to work for the City of Enid?
Well, the very best way to find out is to go to our website, www.enid.org, and we post all of our open positions there, so people have an opportunity to see those positions and read the job description so they understand what that job is. Sometimes government terminology is not always the same as what you might hear out on the street, so they have an opportunity to look at that job description and apply online for those positions. And once they submit their application, then if they don't get that job, then all they have to do is go in and update that application. They don't have to do a whole new application each time. We're using technology to make sure that it's easier for people to stay in tune with the jobs that are open and keep applying for the positions of interest to them.
Okay. Well, again, I know you have a very busy schedule. Thank you for being with us today. I know there's someone that's going to be watching that would be so glad they tuned in, because they've been thinking about an opportunity with the City of Enid, and now you've answered all their questions to do so. So thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us today on City Connections. I look forward to being with you again, discussing a topic that impacts all of us here in Enid. If you have a question and would like to address it, please send an email to thefuture@enid.org. For the City of Enid, I'm Steve Kine. Make it a great day.